Is Paw Patrol the mighty movie a mighty good time? Let's talk about it now. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watch Your Pass. I'm here to talk to you about Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie, the newest Paw Patrol movie. I think it's the second Paw Patrol movie. It's coming to theaters on September 29, 2023. I've got my friend Chase right here to help me do this. Let's see if he stays. I don't think he's going to stay. Well, we'll see. We will see what happens. But I've got Chase here. I'm going to talk about the Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie. Is it good? Is it worth your time? Is it worth taking the kids to? Well, I mean, yes, if you have kids, like my hot take is if you've got kids, definitely watch it. It is a fun experience for them. I love the animation. I love how they kind of mix it up in the Paw Patrol movie with the mighty aspect of it. I liked a lot of the humor. So if you've got kids, definitely check it out. If you don't have kids, it is still a fun movie. If you don't have kids, I would say maybe it's more of a rental, but if you've got kids, go check it out. Go take them to see it. And it also has the Dora the Explorer short right at the start, which is also a very pretty, very imaginative one. So it's kind of a twofer. You get two experiences and definitely something that the kids will enjoy. Now, I guess that leads me to the next point. For kids, is there anything here that you have to be worried about? No, not really. I took my very young child to it. He absolutely loved it. There's really nothing objectionable. There's a little bit of action, but it's not like super scary. It's Paw Patrol. You should be fine taking any kid to it. So enjoy that as well. So all that being said, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the movie, a few things I liked, a few things I didn't like, and then really quickly go into the ending. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the ending section. If you don't know what happens in the movie, if you don't want to find out like what the mighty aspect of this movie is and how that relates, well, then I would turn it off when I get to the ending section. Before that, though, I'll keep it vague. I'll keep it spoiler free. I'll let you know when I get to those spoilers. So in Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie, you have the Paw Patrol. They're protecting Adventure City, doing what they can, doing everything that they normally do. But a new threat and a new opportunity emerged for the Paw Patrol pups that could change Adventure City and also the entire Paw Patrol team forever. So things I liked about this movie. The first, I like the animation. It is gorgeous. It is very, very beautiful. There's a lot of really bright lights. There's a lot of really great colors. They really kind of stepped it up for this one. The pups look great. The fur looks really good on them. I was a little disappointed in the first Paw Patrol movie. I guess it was just called the Paw Patrol movie because it looked just like essentially an episode of the TV show. It didn't seem like they really kind of upped the animation a lot. There was more detail, but it looked very similar to what the show looks like. This looks a whole nother level. It looks like they really kind of stepped up their game, made this a really pretty, really good experience, and also kind of, I guess, justified it being in theaters. I always like that when they kind of step everything up for a movie to make it feel like this, makes it feel like a bigger, more impactful experience. That leads me right into the second thing I loved about this movie. I love the new powers. Like, I like how it seems like Paw Patrol seems to save big events, big kind of team-changing events for the movie. In the last Paw Patrol movie, they introduced a new Paw Patrol character. They introduced Liberty. In this one, they introduced this mighty aspect, these new powers that the Paw Patrol pups get, and how that affects both, their ability to help Adventure City and also their own team dynamic. The third thing I love, look, I like the voice talent. There are some really big cameos in here as they're going through the credits. I was seeing names that I did not expect to be in a Paw Patrol movie. They really kind of pulled out all the stops to try to get some really big voice talent here. And with that, they have some fun cameos and some fun new characters that are enjoyable. And the last thing I love, look, I love the humor. There are some pretty funny aspects here. There's some fourth wall breaking kind of humor here where one of the characters like talks directly to the audience, which is fun. A lot of the humor is thanks to Lil Rel Howery, who has a new character that kind of pops in here and there, kind of like not an announcer character, but like a news reporter that is kind of fun and out there. And he makes a lot of fun comments that will cause the adults to laugh, maybe cringe a little bit, but still there are funny moments in this film. And it's nice to have some things that adults can enjoy. So that being said, things I didn't love as much. So the first, sometimes this feels kind of like a marketing movie. And I guess that kind of comes with the territory where they change up everything. Like I said, I liked that. But that being said, some of it feels like they're just trying to like have new action figures, new cars, new everything. And they have some quick star cameos that seem to linger a little bit too long. Again, kind of feeling like they're just trying to like put them in there for marketing aspects. It's not too bad. I did like that they changed everything up. So I guess I kind of shouldn't then complain that it feels like they are trying to just sell more stuff. But, it kind of comes with the territory. So second thing I didn't love, it's a little bit of a short film. I mean, the film is, I think, about 80 minutes long. It's kind of padded because you've got that Dora the Explorer short at the start. From start to finish, it was about an hour and a half with that Dora the Explorer short. it felt like they could have done a little bit more. It felt like they could have been a little bit longer experience. Now, I understand it's a kid's movie, so you don't want to have it go too long, but I thought maybe 10 or 15 minutes more would have been fine. They could have explored a little bit more about the mighty aspect of it, maybe had some more crises occur, but it feels like a kind of short, compact experience that could have been a little bit bigger, and I would have appreciated that. Look, I want this movie to then let my kid watch and distract him for an hour and a half. So the longer, the better for me. And the last thing I didn't love as much, this is a little spoilery, but it's not too bad. So if you really don't want to know anything, turn it off now. But there are kind of like no consequences. Like, it's a kid's movie, it's a Paw Patrol movie. It makes sense that there's no consequences, but there are these big moments that happen. And they're like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do now? And then like literally the next scene, they're like, oh, we figured it out. It's fine. It just felt like they had these big, impactful, emotional moments that really didn't have any sort of staying power. So all that being said, Paw Patrol the Mighty movie is a fun experience. It definitely changes up the formula. It has some beautiful animation, and it's something your kids will enjoy. So if you've got kids, definitely check it out. And I'm going to go into the ending right now. So if you don't want to know what happens in this movie, I would turn it off now because there will be spoilers. So in Paw Patrol the Mighty movie, you have a new villain get introduced, this mad scientist who looks kind of like a punk rocker named Veronica Vance. She is using her skills to try to pull this like powerful meteor from the sky. She builds what she calls like a meteor magnet. She pulls it down into Adventure City. Unfortunately, she loses control of it. It goes right into Adventure City, crashes through Paw Patrol HQ, and lands on the street. Now, thankfully, the Paw Patrol had enough notice. They cleared everyone out. No one got hurt. But Paw Patrol HQ got destroyed, and all their vehicles got destroyed. And you're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? What are we going to do? We have no home. We have no vehicles. How are we going to save everyone? Well, they figured out pretty quickly. They take the meteor. They go to their aircraft carrier because they have a Paw Patrol aircraft carrier that acts as a base anyways, and they analyze the meteor there. Now, that night when they analyze it, Sky, who has been having some kind of self-confidence issues, she seems to be a little self-conscious that she is the kind of smallest dog in this pack. Like, she was the runt of her own litter. She is the smallest dog in the Paw Patrol family. She feels a little bit, I don't know, inferior to everyone else because she's so small. It seems like that is a theme in the Paw Patrol movie. The first Paw Patrol movie dealt with Chase and his like self-confidence. This deals with Sky and her self-confidence. It's nice for them to address it. It's good for them to like, have these ideas in the movie, but throughout you get moments of Sky feeling very self-conscious. Now, she wakes up in the middle of the night and sees like a pulsating light from that meteor. She goes up to it. When she gets there, it breaks apart, and there's 7 crystals in the meteor. Well, that's super convenient because there are 7 Paw Patrol pups, right? Works out perfectly. When Sky gets her crystal attached to her, she gets like super power. She essentially becomes Superman. She can fly, and she has super strength. And these crystals seem to kind of amplify everyone's innate abilities. Chase gets the super speed. Marshall gets like fire powers. Rocky gets like magnet powers, so he can move things. Essentially telekinesis, except only with like metal things. Rubble can turn into a wrecking ball, kind of like Sonic. He can turn into a ball and just like wreak havoc. And Zuma gets water powers, where he can control water, and he can like also become water and like sneak through pipes and things like that. So everyone gets a cool superpower, a power that fits with their character, except for Liberty. Liberty doesn't get a power. She has a crystal, but she doesn't get a power. She keeps trying to figure out what her power is. Now, unfortunately, hers doesn't materialize, so she is kind of left behind while the rest of the Paw Patrol go and use their powers for good. Now, remember how I said there's no consequences? Well, on this aircraft carrier, they are able to manufacture cool new suits and cool new vehicles, so they are down for maybe like a day. Once they get these new powers, they manufacture these new Paw Patrol suits that give them that let them fully utilize their powers, and new Paw Patrol vehicles that are based on those powers. So everything's good. They go off and help Adventure City using their new powers, and Liberty is kind of left behind. She stays back to help watch these 3 new pups, Nano, Ninny, and Todd, in this new Junior Patrollers kind of group club that Ryder put together. He wanted to get these kids some experience so they can like see the Paw Patrol in action and maybe become members in the future. So they come to help out, and now Liberty is watching them. And with these new powers, they create a new name. They call themselves the Mighty Pups. Now, remember our friend, that mad scientist, Victoria Vance? Well, when she pulled the meteor down, she got captured and she got thrown in jail. Well, luckily for her, I guess, she gets put in the same cell as Mayor Humdinger. They come to an uneasy alliance where Mayor Humdinger agrees to break her out of the prison if Victoria will share some of the power from the meteor with Mayor Humdinger. They agree, they break her out, and then once they're out, they decide to set a trap for Skye. They take Mayor Humdinger's plane up in the air. They have an emergency. Skye gets sent up to go help because she can fly. She's the one that can get there quickest. She goes up to help, but while she's up there, her crystal gets stolen, and Victoria steals a crystal, gives it to herself, and Victoria's superpower, she gets like electrical powers. So they all escape. Skye is able to land the plane. But she is distraught because she lost her powers. She only had them for a little bit of time, and now she lost her powers. Those powers made her feel good. They made her feel strong and big, and now she doesn't have them anymore. So Victoria wants to use these new electrical powers to pull down even more meteors. And later that night, Skye is monitoring the kind of comms, and she sees an electrical surge, and she realizes that's where her crystal is. So rather than wake up the team and go as a team, which she should have done, she decides she'll just take all the other team's crystals, put them on her like collar so she gets super powers, and go get her crystal back. She'll get her crystal back really quickly, come back, put all the crystals back where they belong. No one will be the wiser, and Skye will have her crystal. Well, two problems with this. One, it's a very bad idea. She should have woken up the entire Paw Patrol team so they can help. And two, even though she has all these powers, it doesn't really seem to give her that much more energy. Like, she basically can do the same thing she did before, except she has this cool like 6-pointed crystal on her collar. So not the best idea. Skye goes to try to help, and she gets captured again. But now Victoria has all the crystals, and Paw Patrol has none of them. So Mayor Humdinger reminds Victoria, like, hey, remember how I helped break you out? Give me one of the crystals. Victoria does, and Mayor Humdinger gets his superpower. His superpower is he grows to be super big because he has a big personality. He always wants to be the big one. Well, he grows to be very big. He goes to try to take down the Paw Patrol, but they outsmart him, as you would expect the Paw Patrol to. And with the help of the junior pups, they're able to take Mayor Humdinger's crystal. He shrinks down, and now the Paw Patrol have one crystal. And they are a good team, right? So when Victoria comes to try to fight them, they use the crystal, they exchange it between them, and use each other's powers to the fullest. Now, during the fight, Chase gets like thrown off a cliff, and Liberty goes to save him. And when she goes to save him, the crystal, their one crystal, attaches to her, and Liberty finally figures out her power. She becomes super stretchy. So she is a flexible Paw Patrol character. So she becomes super stretchy. She's able to like stay on the ground and stretch down to get Chase to save him from falling off this cliff. And now Liberty has a superpower. Now, I don't know why that couldn't have materialized earlier. It's not like she had to like activate it. It's not like it was super unique to the situation. I mean, it did have a nice kind of contrast between the other Paw Patrol characters and Liberty not having powers, but there really didn't seem to be any reason why Liberty couldn't get her powers other than Liberty always seems kind of like a throwaway pop. So Liberty now has her power. They use all their powers to stop Victoria Vance. They get their crystals back. And now the Mighty Pups all have their powers, and Liberty has a power too. So now there are 7 Mighty Pups. Well, unfortunately for them, while Victoria was using the crystals, she was pulling down more and more meteors. And now there are a bunch of meteors all coming down to Earth. It's going to be a disaster. Who's going to step up? Who's going to save them? Well, I think we all know who. Skye, the smallest, Skye that feels bad for like causing all these problems. She gets her crystal, and she gets ready to take out the meteors because she can fly. She can get up there. She can use her super strength to break them up. Well, the rest of the Paw Patrol say, hey, you know what? If you're going to go up there, you're going to need all the power you can get. So they give her all their crystals. So now she has 7 crystals, and she powers up and gets up there and starts destroying the meteors. Very Superman style. Like, she's flying up. She like uses her super flying punches to destroy the meteors. She takes them all out. But eventually there is a giant meteor, like a Ben Affleck Armageddon level meteor. Skye powers up. Ryder tells her to get back. It's too big. You know, he doesn't want her to get hurt. And Skye says, no, like, I have to do this. I can handle it. Like, I have to try. So Skye gets back. She like builds up some speed. Super One Punch Man or any sort of anime. It actually feels a lot like an anime because she's flying around, like punching the meteors. It feels very much like a Dragon Ball or something like that. But she gets her speed up. She punches this super meteor. It blows up. You don't know what happens. You don't know what's going on because there's a big cloud of smoke. They lose connection with Skye. She falls to the ocean. She sinks to the bottom. You're like, oh my gosh, maybe that was too much for her. But no, Her crystals activate while she's in the water. They protect her. She's able to get up pretty quickly after and fly back to grand applause, to cheering, to everyone being so happy for her. So she did it. She saved Adventure City. Even though she was littlest, she realizes that no pup is too small. And that's actually one of the nice like lessons here. That's something that Ryder says as like a Paw Patrol motto, like no pup is too small. When Sky was about to take out that meteor, Ryder told her that she is the reason he said that, because she was a small pup when he saved her. She was the smallest of the group, but he realized how good of a hero she could be. And so that's why Ryder says no pup is too small. And that's why Sky adopted that motto before she destroyed the super meteor. Now, at the very end, they are all in the aircraft carrier. They all have their powers. Adventure City is saved. And Sky is holding this like bandana, from when she was a kid. She kind of had kept it to remember how she'd always been too small. But I guess now she realizes that she's big enough. She throws it into the water. It's a nice scene. But Sky, you should not have littered. She should have used her superpowers to fly, pick it up, and throw it in the trash. But that's the Paw Patrol movie. During some credits, there are some fun like animations to showcase different Paw Patrol characters in a different style. It is really pretty. It is really nice. It's not really worth staying, but if you're going to watch the credits anyways, at least gives you some nice visuals. There is no stinger though, so once those visuals are over, you can head out. Don't wait till the end. There's nothing at the end. But that is Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie. It comes to theaters on September 29th, 2023. And if you've got kids, definitely check it out. They will love it. It is a fun theater experience. And you got that Dora the Explorer short right at the start. So you get 2 for the price of 1. So thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.